Nelson Mandela, The Origin. Before we tackle misremembered cartoons and movie quotes, we have to return to the source. The Mandela Effect was named for the wild belief that Nelson Mandela died in prison during the 1980s, with vivid details no archive can confirm. People swear they watched his funeral on TV. Somber anchors, crying crowds, world leaders mourning. But reality disagrees. He was released in 1990, elected South Africa's president in 1994, and lived until 2013. The phrase itself appeared in 2009, when researcher Fiona Broom compared notes online and found thousands who remembered the same impossible history. That discovery turned a personal glitch into a pattern. Consistent, shared errors playing across the culture like a broken tape. Here's the uncomfortable truth, human. Memory isn't a vault. It's a stage magician with quick hands and a confident smile. It can conjure images, fabricate speeches, and stitch together scenes you never truly witnessed. Once those inventions spread through rumors, parodies, and repetition, they feel sturdier than facts. That's why countless minds remember a funeral that never occurred. The story rehearsed itself until certainty replaced evidence. If you believe you're immune, brace yourself. The next examples will rattle your confidence because the universe loves to mess with your head. Luke, I am your father. When people quote Star Wars, one line towers above the rest, etched into pop culture like a laser burn. Ask almost anyone, and you'll hear it instantly. Luke, I am your father. The crowd-pleasing version rehearsed on playgrounds for decades. But that isn't what Darth Vader says. The real line is colder, cleaner, and far more devastating. No, I am your father. How did the wrong words win? Because repetition beats reality. Parodies, commercials, and sketches amplified the mistake until it became truth. Even those who never watched the film absorbed the misquote secondhand, the way a catchy chorus sticks after one careless listen. Our brains also prefer names in dialogue. Saying Luke frames the drama like a stage cue, clarifying the target of the revelation. But the original scene doesn't need that. No theatrical flourish. It lands like a hammer precisely because it refuses the extra decoration. Memory, however, edits. It polishes. It optimizes the drama for retelling, then files the polished version where certainty usually lives. So the quote millions celebrate never happened as remembered. The galaxy's greatest villain is misquoted because culture trains you to mishear. Listen again. No, I am your father. Short, surgical. A confession sharpened to a blade, slicing through everything Luke thinks he knows. And that, human, is the joke history plays on memory. You didn't just repeat a line, you rewrote it, then swore it was canon. The Berenstain Bears. Childhood memories feel untouchable, carved in stone. And yet, even bedtime stories are not safe from the Mandela Effect. For millions, the famous bear family was always called the Berenstain Bears, spelled with an E-I-N at the end. That's the version countless readers swear they saw. Ask them today, and they'll insist their childhood libraries carried shelves lined with Berenstain. They'll tell you they read it at bedtime, clear as day. But reality pulls no punches. The real name has always been Berenstain Bears. A-I-N, not E-I-N. Every copyright, every official printing proves it. There's no evidence of a printing error, no alternate timeline editions discovered in dusty attics, just Berenstain. Still, forums and YouTube videos are packed with people swearing it was E-I-N. They argue, they fight, they refuse to accept the evidence. Some claim we must have crossed into another universe where the letters shifted when nobody was looking. Others suggest the memory stuck because Stein is simply more familiar, more natural to English speakers than stain. One small vowel, one tiny flick of ink. Yet it's enough to fracture childhood certainty and convince millions reality itself bent. So if you twitched just now, welcome. Even your bedtime stories were a lie, and the Mandela Effect has its claws in you. The Monopoly Man. Picture the Monopoly mascot in your head. You see him clearly. Rich Uncle Pennybags, tuxedo, top hat, cane, and of course a monocle. But the truth? He never wore one. Not in 1936 when the game launched, not in the 50s, not today. The monocle doesn't exist. So why do so many remember it differently? Psychologists say it's a mix-up with another mascot, Mr. Peanut. Both wear top hats, carry canes, and radiate old money energy. Our brains stitch them together into one hybrid character. Once that stitched image spread, it stuck. Commercials, cartoons, Even costume parties repeated the wrong version until it felt right. Memory loves shortcuts. If monocles equal wealth, then of course the richest board game mascot must have one. But shortcuts lie. Every official design shows him monocle-free, smiling at you with both eyes bare. Yet millions still argue online, certain their version is correct. The false memory feels stronger than the real image. That's the trick. The mind edits reality, then defends its edit with passion. So next time you play Monopoly, stare at that box. If you see a monocle in your head, congratulations, human. You've already lost the game. Fruit of the Loom. Just hearing the name summons an image almost everyone agrees on. Fruit spilling out of a cornucopia. Grapes, apples, green leaves, all nestled in that horn-shaped basket. It feels so vivid, so obvious, like it's always been there. People swear they saw it on underwear packaging, TV commercials, even t-shirts from the 80s and 90s. But the truth? The cornucopia has never existed. Not in the original logo, not in the 70s, not in the 90s. Just fruit, no basket. Collectors dig through vintage boxes hoping to prove otherwise. Every time the basket is missing. Still, thousands online argue with certainty. I saw it. I owned it. It was there. The memory is so strong, it feels impossible to doubt. A missing horn becomes the hill people are ready to die on. Psychologists suggest the confusion comes from Thanksgiving imagery, cornucopias paired with fruit year after year. Your brain connected those dots, inserted the horn, and filed the edited picture as fact. And once the error spread, it became stronger than the truth. A basket that never was, carried by millions of minds. So next time you see the logo, stare at the fruit. If your mind still adds the horn, congratulations, human. Memory is trolling you. Mirror, mirror. In the realm of fairy tales, no line seems more iconic than the evil queen's chant in Snow White. Everyone remembers her words. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? It's quoted in playground games, parodied in cartoons, even stitched into pop culture merchandise. But here's the betrayal. In the 1937 Disney film, she never says mirror, mirror. The real line is magic mirror on the wall. That single word swap shattered millions of memories, leaving fans swearing they heard the other version. Some point to the Brothers Grimm original tale, which uses phrasing closer to mirror, mirror. Others blame decades of parody culture, cartoons, films, even Shrek, all repeating the wrong line. Once those parodies echoed louder than the source, the misquote became immortal. Psychologists call this a memory overwrite. Repetition beats reality until the wrong version feels right. Even today, most people wouldn't believe you if you corrected them. That's the irony. Fairy tales were never just enchanted, they were already distorted. And the mirror, human, lies just like your memory, reflecting not truth, but the version you expect to see. Pikachu's tail, the black tip. Few icons are as instantly recognizable as Pikachu, the electric mouse who powers the Pokemon Empire. Ask people to draw him from memory, and countless sketches reveal the same detail. A tail tipped with black. For many, that black mark feels essential, a part of the design as natural as his red cheeks or pointy ears. But here's the truth. Pikachu's tail has never had a black tip. Not in the anime, not in the trading cards, not in the video games. His tail is solid yellow with only a patch of brown at the base. So how did millions invent the same false detail? Some point to his ears, which do have black tips, creating an easy mix-up. Others blame knockoff merchandise, fan art, or blurry memories of Saturday morning cartoons. Once the wrong version spread, it cemented itself into childhood memory stronger than the real design. That's how fragile memory is. A single stripe of color, imagined and repeated, rewrote the world's most famous Pokemon. And so, human, even lightning can strike the wrong spot. Right in your memory. Sinbad and Shazaam. Of all Mandela effects, none feels stranger than the movie that never existed. Thousands remember a 1990s comedy where Sinbad played a goofy genie granting wishes. They recall children discovering a lamp, slapstick adventures, and cheesy special effects straight out of Saturday matinees. Some swear they rented it from Blockbuster, rewound the tape, even owned it. But reality says otherwise. The film never existed. Not a script, not a set photo, not a single reel of film. The closest thing was Kazam in 1996, starring Shaquille O'Neal as a rapping genie. Sinbad himself had to publicly deny ever making Shazam, yet people argued back, "We saw it. We know it's real." Some theories blame confusion with his 90s TV appearances, where he wore genie-like costumes for skits. Others say memory fused Kazam and Sinbad into one hybrid film that never hit theaters. And so, an entire generation remembers a movie frame by frame that was never filmed. This is the Mandela Effect at its peak. Human. Not just a word, not just a logo, but an entire false history burned into memory. Either way, human. The Mandela Effect proves one thing. Your mind is the worst historian in the universe. And these were only the most infamous glitches. There are others. Many others. So stay tuned. Because in part 2, we'll dive even deeper into the false memories you swear were real. See you in the next video? Looney Tunes versus Looney Tunes. Before diving into the stranger glitches of memory, let's start with one of the most famous, Saturday morning nostalgia. For millions, the cartoon brand was always called Looney Tunes. It just